Morning, everyone. It's Joe Waxman, and I'm back with another video. This morning, I would like to look at the chart of assassinated president JFK, John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy, what a figure, what a smart guy. What a tragic story. The Kennedys. I'm gonna share my screen here. Nothing really I can say that y'all probably don't already know, mostly. I mean, except for his birth chart about his life. He was well, he was a Kennedy, right? He was born into this very well-known, powerful political family. And let's just go into his chart. He's a Gemini Sun, conjunct Venus. It's a wide conjunction, but it's still there. This is pretty much very similar to my chart, amazingly. I have an 8th house Gemini Sun conjunct Venus. So very, not only very intelligent, here Gemini in the 8th house is going deep into secrets, right? 8th house dealing with all the scorpionic secrets, all the hidden things, conspiracy, occult awareness, all the underground hidden things, all the secret societies and government. He was well aware of all those things. I mean, he was more in tune with those sort of things than probably most people realize, because I mean, that's what happens when you have Sun in the 8th house, especially with like a curious sign like Gemini, who's so intellectually capable. You can just go right into it. Like, I mean, I know this very personally. I have a really deep, intimate awareness of all the secret hidden things. It just naturally comes to me. Like, it's a very conspiratorial kind of placement. Great for, anything like astrology, obviously, the occult, psychology, research. Fantastic for research, digging deep into the unknown, into the secrets, into all the hidden things, because Gemini is such an intellectual sign, and here it's into the bringing the intellect into the secrets. So he knew whatever there is to know. He knew all about the CIA. He knew all about all the secret societies, the Masons, the Illuminati, the Rothschilds, all of that. He knew it better than anyone, right? Because he has his Sun and Venus. Like, Venus shows where we naturally love. Well, this is what we're going to do on our leisurely time. It's not what we're doing at work. It's what we're going to do, automatically when we've got nothing else to do. We're just going to automatically do that. And with Venus in the 8th house in Gemini, he's just going to be researching on his own. Well, obviously not this, because they didn't have computers back then. But he's going to be reading all the papers, talking to all his insider friends, getting the inside scoop. He's naturally going to have a nose for that. He's going to fish it out. He's going to suss it out. Highly intelligent. Moon in Virgo. I have Moon in Virgo, 19 degrees. I mean, that's why I'm saying, like, we're very, except for the ascendant, but Moon in Virgo, 11th house. Basically, it's conjunct the 12th house cusp. Again, that mercurial ruling is his luminaries. Mercury is very, very smart. Virgo moons are I think it's a fantastic placement for the moon. Not always easy to deal with, especially if you are somebody else near a Virgo moon, because they can be picky as hell. They're just not going to be satisfied until things are perfect, until things are done right, and they're going to be criticizing all over the place. I mean, but if you want somebody who really has their inner life organized and their emotions, cut, dried, and sorted and cleaned out, and everything in its place. Virgo moon, fantastic, right? Again, it has the symbology of the Virgin Mother, right? In the esoteric astrology, moon actually rules Virgo. It's a different kind of astrology, but it's still there's still something very important to consider with esoteric astrology rulership. So I think it's a great moon, great placement for the moon. I mean, it's a little too close to the 12th house for my liking. I'd much rather it be more in the 11th house. But 11th house moon will give great awareness. It's almost like an Aquarius moon, or like a, you know, not exactly. I don't like lumping them together, but it has that very big mindedness, that satisfaction. They gain a lot of emotional satisfaction with groups and networks. They always have to have their hands and nose and feet and toes and all the in all of the stuff and all the gossip and all the groups and networks, and they got a very big mind for all of society, right? It's very Aquarian. In that sense, they just want to know everything that's going on. In the 12th house, because it's moving into the 12th house, then again, it's really good for creativity and secrets, all the hidden things, especially with Virgo. He's got that keen, sharp intellect that's really going to suss out all the secrets. I mean, these are the two water houses. This is 11th and 12th influence, really, so both. With his Virgo moon. But you're not going to be able to hide anything from JFK. He's going to know all the secrets, right? And that's probably what one of his huge problems was, or at least the problems for the secret, the secrets that did not want to be revealed, if you understand what I'm saying. The secrets that wanted to remain secrets. JFK was like, I see you, and I'm not okay with this. I'm going to, we're not doing this anymore, not if I'm president, okay? Right. He was a Harvard graduate, and then he was in the Navy. So he did the whole shtick. Like, he did the whole thing that he was supposed to do. Like, he was a journalist. He was a good student, smart guy, incredibly smart guy. And he was in the Army or rather Navy. Sorry. And then he was in the Senate for years, and he wrote a book, and it won the Pulitzer Prize. So he was like a real deal. He wasn't just like born famous and like pushed into presidency. I mean, of course, it helped a lot that he was part of the Kennedys. His whole family was into politics, and but he did it himself, right? Libra Ascendant. I mean, Libra Ascendant is fantastic for anything like that, for politics, for anything where you have to sort of win the favor of the public, because it's Libra Ascendant and Aries Descendant, and this fantastic axis for like Aries. Libra on the Ascendant is like, can talk to anyone and is just smooth as can be, and knows how to gain the favor of everyone in the room, everyone that matters. Libra just has that ability to schmooze, to talk, to ride that middle line that's necessary in politics and social issues, the social scenes. Libra is excellent, right? It's built for that. That's what it's built for, right? And Aries on the descendant, fantastic for speaking, because here we're able to reach other people, and Aries is the fire starter. So they're the ones who can initiate that spark of interest, whatever it is, in other people. Very, very powerful motivational speakers have this axis as ascendant descendant. Hitler, number one, JFK, obviously, and what's his name? Tony Robinson, right? And a lot of other people, just powerful motivational speakers, because they speak and you hear them and you're inspired by them. That's the Aries on the descendant. He doesn't have any Aries descendant placement, so it's not as powerful as it could be, but still it's there. They make great, excellent motivational speakers, and his speeches to this day are famous. They're incredible. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. I mean, he was a great speaker, fantastic, right? His ascendant lord is Venus. It's in the 8th house. So 8th house deals with death. It's the house of death. I mean, ascendant lord and sun. Suns are vitality. Venus is his ascendant lord. It represents him as a person. It's his 8th house ruler. So that's not so bad. Being the 8th house ruler, that means there's going to be benefit, especially financial benefit. um, inheritance. And he inherited a lot. I mean, never mind the money. I don't know what money he inherited. He inherited his family name. He inherited his legacy. That's an inheritance, right? He's a Kennedy, full blown. That's an inheritance, right? So inheritance is huge. Venus is great for finance, and it's not in its own sign. It's in Gemini, but it does rule the 8th house cusp, and it's moving into the 9th house, but still. A lot of 8th house influence. I mean, this Mars looks like it's more in the 7th, but it's not. You can see here it is. It's pretty much conjunct the 8th house cusp with Mercury and Jupiter. Now, Jupiter and Mercury are not fantastic together. Very good for philosophy, very good for big picture, but remember, Jupiter expands whatever it touches, and Mercury actually does not like to be expanded because then it loses focus. And Mercury is a very important planet for him because it rules the sun, Venus, and moon. So here he's becoming much more philosophical than focus-minded. Like he's not like, oh, I'm going to do math and writing and, like really focus on academia. No, he's thinking about the big picture because Jupiter is expanding his Mercury. And again, that's similar to me. I have Mercury and Jupiter in Taurus. So I'm the same. I completely understand this. His conjunction is actually tighter than mine. It really makes him much more philosophical. Even though he's very mercurial, he's also very Jupiterian, very philosophical, very big-minded. And that's why one of the reasons he was so loved, because he wasn't getting like all like narrow and myopic. He was going for the big picture. He's very big picture oriented. Excuse me. And then Mars conjunct Mercury gives him that aggressive edge, right? It's adding that fire to the Mercury. So he's not just like just all mental. He's like, look, I see you guys' secrets. I see what you're doing, and I don't like it, and I'm gonna do something about it. That's the Mars. Mars conjunct Mercury is very argumentative, very fiery. They can make great lawyers. They will talk a lot, and they will just be very aggressive in their speech and their communication, and they will act on their thoughts and ideas. And then so Mars is really good actually for this Jupiter conjunct Mercury, because Jupiter conjunct Mercury will weaken the Mercury, but Mars will strengthen it. So it's an interesting combination, right? I mean, yeah. And then it's really nice. It's got this really nice trine. All three of them are giving energy to this moon because moon is exalted in Taurus. And so it really likes this. Moon really benefits from trines to Jupiter and Mercury, and Mars is fine as well. I mean, it's a trine. It wouldn't be so good if it was a square or conjunction. It'd be less good, but and the trine is fine. All of these, they're all giving energy to the moon, really empowering that moon with that Taurus energy and Jupiter energy. Jupiter moon love each other. And again, moon benefits. And then these three planets, especially Jupiter and Mercury benefit. Jupiter benefits from the moon. Mercury benefits from the moon and Virgo, because Virgo is its sign, not only its sign of this domicile, its rulership, but it's all exaltation. So there's a nice reception here going on. Moon to Mercury, when they speak, when there's a nice aspect between moon and Mercury, that you can really convey the heart. So here, when he's speaking, he not only has Jupiter and Mars, he also has the moon. And when you're speaking with the moon, then people really feel it, because the moon's the heart, it's the emotions. So like when there's a nice aspect between Mercury and moon, when the person communicates and expresses, then you really feel it. There's a real impact. So that's why, again, like when he was speaking, he was very strong, very powerful, right? Because 11th house also deals with popularity in groups. It's trine to the 7th. Again, it's moving into the 12th, but there's still 11th house influence. And then 8th house is still having to do with relationships and other people, although it's a more intimate house, right? And we know that he had relationships, right? I mean, he had affairs, right? That's 7th lord in the 8th house. right? Mars. So it's conjuncting the 8th house cusp. He had a lot of affairs. He with Marilyn Monroe and other people as well. A lot of affairs. Yeah. What else? Yeah, so the guy was really smart, I'm telling you. His Mercury was stationary, 1 minute and 27 seconds. That is actually the slowest Mercury I've ever seen. The slowest. I mean, mine's pretty slow. It's 17 minutes. I've seen 4 minutes in other people. This is 1 minute, 27 degrees. Incredibly slow. And his Uranus is -2 seconds. Stationary retrograde. So let's look at that. So Mercury, very, very smart, but big-minded, right? Because Jupiter takes that small focus Mercury and expands it. So he's very, very smart in the big picture sort of things. His awareness of what's going on in the world because of the secrets that, you know, the 8th house, 12th house, Mercury, you know, Gemini, Virgo, and then this stationary Uranus, which is opposite this, you know, minor asteroid Pallas Athena, which is an intellectual asteroid, deals with wisdom, pattern recognition, strategy, excellent for anything strategic and war related, you know, defeating the enemy, that kind of thing. And Uranus is all about awareness. Uranus is the planet that you just can't, you cannot, I don't want to say you can't fool Uranus, but in a sense, when it's optimizing at its highest, when it's stationary, when it's in good aspect, like in Aquarius, his Mercury is on, I mean, sorry, not Mercury, his Uranus is on fire. It's like extremely powerful Uranus. So what this is saying is that his awareness, his ability to see the truth of the whole world was unparalleled. I'm telling you, because it's such a strong Uranus. It's in Aquarius, its own sign of rulership, co-rulership along with Saturn. And then it's got this really powerful T-square with Mercury, Jupiter, Mars, and then Pallas Athena, this minor asteroid. It's in the 5th house, so it's trines the ascendant. Fantastic. Like, he was not fooled for a second. He knew everything that was going on. He was aware as can be of all the conspiracies, all the secrets, all the hidden things. I mean, his chart is lit up for that. Like, he was just aware. More, I mean, if we think we're aware, we're awake, JFK was on another level. Like, he knew everything. He knew the secrets of the secrets, right? And he was so brilliant. He was so smart. I mean, he's a genius with this combination, with the stationary Mercury, stationary Uranus, in good dignity with these mercurial aspects. I mean, he knew all the secrets of the Illuminati, the Freemasons, all the secret societies, the CIA, you know, FBI, all the hidden things. And that's why they killed him. He knew too much, and he was just too upright about it. Jupiter makes him upright with his, because these are Mercury's ruling his sun, Venus, and moon. And so Jupiter is the great benefic. Jupiter is good. Jupiter's a good planet. Like, it wants good. It wants goodness for humanity. That's Jupiter's thing. Like, that's its main role. It's a benefic. It wants the best. It wants to help people, right? A good Jupiter wants everyone to be happy and well taken care of and fed and nourished and, you know, abundant, right? And so, you know, this, especially in Taurus, it's so well fed. In Taurus, I have Jupiter in Taurus too. So yeah, there's that. South node in Cancer, it's conjunct Pluto, widely conjunct Pluto and Saturn. It's pretty much right in the middle, more to the Pluto side. Shows early rise to success because it's pretty much conjunct, well, it's a wide conjunction to the MC, but it's still influencing it, and the 9th house. So higher education, you know, he was a Harvard graduate. I mean, that's pretty high. higher education is going to be very easy and natural for him. Pluto, he was, the power, the plutonic, the secrets, the psychology, the conspiracy, the occult. He's already aware of all that. Saturn's conjunct the MC. That's giving him a lot of authority. A lot of times you see leaders with Saturn, somewhere near the MC, 10th house, 9th house. But it gives him a lot of authority. It's going to slow down his career success. So anyway, he was in his, still pretty young, I'd say, but upper 40s when he was elected president, but it was a slow rise. So, but he's got other influences here. The South Node, the South Node gives quick rise. So quick rise, it's 9th house, but it's still influencing the 10th house. And then as he got older, into the 3rd, 4th Capricorn. So very powerful speech, very powerful expression, and authority, leadership, naturally, 4th house, going into the 10th house, right? Kennedy, 4th house, homeland, this is relates to his family, his home life, his early childhood. So Kennedy, the name Kennedy, right? Rising to the top, of course, natural. He was a Kennedy, so he's going to go into, the public life of politics and all that. Neptune is in Leo in 2 degrees in the 10th house. That's not great for being a politician. It's much better for being an actor or a artist or some type of creative type, like dancer, musician, anything like that. But it is conjuncting Saturn, even though it's out of sign. So Saturn is restricting that. So, I don't think he was an actor, even though he had that quality. He had that star quality. Like Neptune can give a person in the 10th house this glamorous sort of Hollywood, pizzazz, charm, this mystical quality that, nobody can really put their finger on. They're just they got it, that's a very Neptunian thing. But Saturn here tames Neptune. So he's not going up there just, acting, which is what Neptune would pretty much represent, illusion, delusion, fantasy, things like that. Unlike Joe Biden, I always got to say that. Joe Biden's got this big old Neptune standing alone right in the 10th house. It's oh my God, what a fucking liar. So yeah, what else? Chiron's in the 6th house with these nice trines to Saturn and Neptune. Chiron's in Pisces, and Chiron, a good Chiron will give a person a lot of empathy, a lot of compassion, a lot of, healing ability or concern, especially an evolved person who's done their own healing. Concern for, the wounded, the rejected, the down and out, the lower class of society. In the 6th house, it means he's going to serve these people on a daily basis. His real purpose in office was, helping people. That was not his main, but it was a regular concern of his in 6th house and in Pisces. Pisces is the sign of, compassion and generosity. And the 6th house is the house of service. So he wanted to help people for sure. Right. And inevitably, he got assassinated. Got that square to the moon and Venus. That's a pretty tight square, and that's his ascendant lord in the 8th house. That's not great. There's nothing here, I wouldn't say, let's see, Uranus square Mercury and Mars and Jupiter. His Mercury, which is the 8th house cusp. Oh no, sorry, it's the 9th house cusp. Ruler. Yeah, never mind that. But it is ruling his sun and moon, so that's probably detrimental. you know, this Uranus can represent shocks, accidents. Uranus, that's one of the things Uranus can represent, is trauma, accidents, shocks. Oh, and interestingly enough, his son died, right? At least officially. There's a lot of conspiracies about that. JFK Jr., and this is the fifth house, and Uranus representing shocks and accidents. That's interesting. Square Jupiter, which represents children. So, I mean, any planet in the eighth house, especially if it's ascendant ruler or the sun, is going to potentially shorten lifespan. And then here I have the transits when he was assassinated. So, I mean, first thing, there's a nodal return, or sorry, nodal opposition, and that's not necessarily a death thing. I haven't actually, I don't officially, let's see. I mean, there's probably multiple ways to look at death, but here we have Pluto and Uranus coming together in Virgo. This is the classic 1960s conjunction of Pluto and Uranus that, you know, created the whole hippie revolution. Here they're coming together. They're squaring his Venus and his sun to some extent, more his Venus. They are at 9 and 14 degrees, 9 and 14. So 14, Pluto is at 14. And that's pretty close to his Venus, which is his ascendant ruler. We need to look at that. So that's very stressful. And then we got this opposition here of Mars, conjunct Venus. So Mars and Pluto and Uranus would be the planets I would look for something like death, accident, things like that. So Mars is conjuncting his ascendant ruler transit, and it's also opposite. So where's Mars? 19 degrees. So that's still opposite. So we're getting two really difficult aspects to his Venus, which is his ascendant ruler. And 3 if you count Uranus. So I think I wouldn't automatically say, well, that's the time you're going to die. I don't know how to predict that, but we can look and say, well, that definitely was a challenging time for him, a dangerous time for him. So yeah, you look to squares, difficult aspects to the ascendant ruler, basically. And there's probably the sun too, you know, as well, is going to play into it. Sun's our vitality. So yippers. That's pretty much it for JFK. I mean, he has a super strong chart, especially with those two stationary planets, Mercury and Uranus. Gives him incredible insight and awareness to everything that's going on. So that's all I got for JFK. Yeah, I mean, I think the CIA killed him. A lot of people do, because of what he knew, and looking at his chart, it pretty much backs that up. Like, he just knew too much, and he was not gonna just, you know, keep it a secret. He wanted to dismantle the CIA and expose the secrets and all that. So anyway, we're still fighting that. We're still fighting the same old fight that JFK fought. So we're gonna win. I have faith in that. All right, guys, if you like this content, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. If you want to book a reading, go to my website, macroastrology.com. And if you want to, you know, recommend anyone for me to read, go ahead, put that in the comments. And this is a reading that was suggested by Locks of Love Tarot. So that's why I did JFK. All righty, guys, that's it for now. Thanks. Bye.